what brought me to the United States? Since I'm a little girl, my mother told me I was her little American girl. My father was in the United States as a painter. Carrie Fisher and Paul Simon bought a couple of his paintings when he was in New York in the 80s. And it was always a dream to come to the United States. And then doing theater, you want to go to New York at a certain point, right? I ended up in Chicago because Chicago is really the theater city where everything grows and emerges and where you can really like work on new material, not the big Broadway stuff, but more like, you know, the research. And I'm a researcher. I love my craft. I graduated in 2001 from Ivo van Hove in the drama school in Antwerp, which I'm very proud to be an alumni from. And it really modeled me as an actor that is not only an actor that can play everything, because I don't believe I can play everything, but I have a point of view on theater and on what I want to do. And I think the individuality and personality of the actor sometimes in America is a bit underestimated. As a director and a writer take a lot of space. And in Europe, usually the actor cuts and edits and pastes the plays as he wants, together with the director, where it's not ex cathedra, but more a group event. And that's basically a little bit the spirit that I'm taking along from Europe to Chicago in my new couple of performances that I play in and perform in and produce and write and everything. But now I'm switching over to the directing side, which is very interesting because it makes me have to describe to the Chicago actors who are great a different point of view, and that makes me have to think about what the style of acting is that I want to pursue together with those people who have a total different acting background. So that's very interesting.
Now, most of what you've done is stage. Are you going to make a transition at some point to film?
Well, my big love is theater. I'm a dramatic comedic actress. I do a little bit of both. Why? Because I love doing both. And I'm tired of drama, then I do some comedy. And when I'm tired of comedy, I go back to drama, you know. But in Belgium, I was here and there in television. I enjoyed it, but it was more a way of paying the rent, you know. Because we have television, we have more and more movies coming up in Belgium, but while the last 3 years are really upcoming in the Flemish part, because the brothers Dardenne are in the French part, which is like a different country artistically, I have never really been in movies. I did some commercial stuff, but here in America, I think this is the land of movies. So if someone asks me and sees something in me with my accent, with my personality, why not? I mean, it would be a dream.
How long are you going to be in the United States?
Well, currently I'm here as artist in residence for Spiel, Theater of Identity, Chicago-based, until the end of September. But I hope to be able to teach European drama at a university in Chicago, and that would extend my visa for a couple of years, or I have to get married.
You have to get married.
That's an open invitation.
Hey, I know a great old PI. Yeah, he's got a bad Chicago accent. He's old enough to be your grandfather, but hey, what the heck? Immigration won't care.
I already bought myself my diamonds.
There
so
you go.
I'm from Antwerp. I mean, that's a diamond city, so yeah, I'm a cheap date.
You're a cheap date. Now, let me ask you. You know, the first thing that got my attention about you was I'm flipping through the internet, through Facebook, and through these different things, and I ran across some absolutely hysterical pictures of you at an Occupy demonstration with these really wretched people that are living out in the outdoors in tents, and I don't really know why they're there. And you're dressed very well, and you've got a sign that says "Date Me."
Yeah, well, Date Me was one of the shows that I brought to Chicago along with Sound of Silence. That is a dramatic monologue from Jean Cocteau that he wrote in 1940 for Edith Piaf. And Date Me is actually a comedy about sexperiences and sexcapades. And I thought it would be a very funny thing because I was rehearsing the show in New York to open in Chicago. And Occupy Wall Street was there. And I'm like, the big sentence in Occupy Wall Street is 99% and the 1%. And I was like, 99% won't date me. Are you my 1%? And that got me a tremendous amount of press, and that's great marketing because I produce as well. Or Occupy Me tonight.
Those signs, I looked at that, really got my attention.
So, and I was dressed as my character, not really a clueless girl, but she's got that cocktail dress on, those very high heels, her extensions, because she's not seen without extensions, not me, but my character.
Right.
And even though we bear the same name, because I like to keep it open and the audience to wonder. And actually, I got a couple of people writing me through Facebook, to have actually a date with me. Nothing came out of it.
I'm sure you did.
But it was just, I think as an actor, or you've got to be engaged in a certain way. And engagement could be being on the barricades, but also commenting on society by doing just the opposite. That's what the barricades is about, because it raises questions in a funny way.
Tell me one thing about you, and that is that you're fearless. You're absolutely fearless.
Well, I wake up one morning with an idea, and that idea is going to see the daylight. And
it also shows your creativity and your cleverness and your gift of comedy. And so I think that's going to go a long way. And now you've been on a kind of a whirlwind trip. You've been to New York. You've been to Chicago, and I'm talking to you right now in Los Angeles.
LA. This is LA.
I have a feeling you're going to be visiting the Screen Actors Guild on Wilshire today.
I hope so, yeah. That's the plan.
I think that a new world is going to open up for you, but more importantly, the world is going to find out more about you.
Yeah. Let's hope so. I mean, I'm here to be seen. That's what every actor wants.
And if there was an actor in Hollywood that you would really want to meet, or an actress, who would it be?
Oh, I love Sean Penn.
You love Sean Penn?
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
He's a great actor. He's a great actor, and he doesn't lose his integrity. I'm not saying that other ones are, but... Sean Penn is Sean Penn, and in every movie that you see him, even though he's portraying a character, there's still an essence of Sean Penn in that character. And that is something that I, as a European actor, also on stage, try to always be myself and remain myself, even though I'm portraying a character. I never become a character.
That is the gift of acting. If you can pull that off, you've won, because if you try to do an impersonation or an emulation... And
his integrity, his humility, his engagement also, and his eyes speak so much.
Who's your favorite actress in the entire world?
Well, she's an actress in theater, actually, in Belgium. I really like Vivienne de Monk, but it will not raise a lot of bells here. But if I've got to think about, Angelica Houston.
Okay.
I might sound a bit old-fashioned, maybe, but I really like I saw Enemies: A Love Story when I was a smaller child, and the intensity of her acting. And I saw a couple of weeks ago the Tenenbaums again, and now she's in Smash, and she doesn't age in a certain way. She's becoming older because, that's what time does to you, but she is still so focused when you see her on on camera. So I really like Angelica Houston.
She still has her energy.
Yeah. And in like the Hollywood era, Rita Hayworth, the first time I saw her in Gilda, and she turns around that head, I choked. It was the most beautiful woman I have ever saw in my life. And the dress that she wears in Gilda is going to be my wedding dress if I ever get married. but
hopefully to some private eye.
I'm very bad at choosing men, so maybe I need a casting director for that as well. No, Gilda, Rita Hayworth, amazing.
So what are you going to do today? I hear you're going to visit the dead. What's that about?
Well, I think there's that whole vampire thing going on in Hollywood now with all those vampire movies. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see the grave of Marilyn Monroe, which was one of my idols. I mean, who isn't?
Well, it would be safe to say that these days you're living your life one adventure at a time.
Oh, totally. Because also in theater, every production you've got to start from zero and nothing is never achieved. You're never there until you're dead. So I've got every day a new chance. And even sometimes at night I panic about budgets, about artistic choices, and then I'll sleep over it because tomorrow is a new day and tomorrow will hopefully bring answers. And if it doesn't bring answers, I'll go search for them because I'm a go-getter. I'm a train. I don't stop.
Well, I have to say that this was a treat to be able to interview you.
Thanks so much.
And I look forward to seeing a whole lot more of you in some very important public, well-paying places.
That would be great.